Ow. Kicking things. It's a new one. Oh, excuse me. Okay, I'm live, and I actually worked this time, so that's cool. Right, guys, it's open topic time. I do not mind what we talk about or anything. I'm just here. So yeah, I'm just waiting for anybody to come in the chat. Oh gosh, I've been yawning all day. I've had a weird day. I had a very weird day. Right. It doesn't work anymore. It does not work anymore. No, putting your finger in your mouth, giving a basically overriding the yawn reflex by basically I used to do this with my finger and then just bite down on it, because that would override the that would override my yawn reflex, because when you yawn, your jaw can kind of like spasm. It basically, not really spasm in the sense that it will get out of control. Well, that it will basically get out of control and just like continuously flex different parts of the muscles around it, but in fact it will get out of control in a different way. Spasm as in fuck. Spasm as in it will basically, it's beyond your control, you know, and you can basically make it clamp or open up really wide. So what I do to override the yawning reflex, and I think that's why I've basically gotten used to it and my body just knows that it's not in any real danger, is basically I would tell it to clamp instead of yawning, you know, open it wide like that. And it will, you know, the pain that you feel, just, or the potential pain that you feel, because I don't actually hurt myself, I don't actually bite myself, will override the yawning reflex so that you do not do that. So that you don't do that, so that it basically just, it aborts yawning altogether. But I think that I finally got, oh, for fuck's sake. But yeah, I think that I've done it so often and since childhood that essentially now my body, this year my body is just like, I don't care anymore. I do not care. You are not going to bite yourself. I know it. I'm just going to keep on with the yawn because, you know, you're lying to me. So yeah. Might be a quiet one tonight, I don't know. But that'll be okay for me, to be honest, because I'm tired. Oh, I'm tired. I want to talk about yawning some more, but it's just going to trigger more yawning, so I don't want to talk about any yawning. I'm just saying the word yawning is basically triggering yawning, so I should shut up. um, oh fuck it. Yeah, yawning's been a bit of a problem for me because I kind of do this thing. I kind of have done this thing when I was younger. Anyway, I've been pretty good at not doing this so much anymore. Where I wouldn't be able to help it, but when I open my mouth, people can see my teeth. So, enough. It's making my eyes water. Again, I was not yawning before the stream. I do not understand what the deal is with this. It's so annoying. Okay, okay, okay. Enough. I would show my teeth. One of the reasons why I don't open my mouth so much, and I've trained myself so. What I do, I just hit the keyboard and it crashed my thing. And now it's super low quality, so I don't understand what happens. Um, there we go. It's getting back to normal slowly. Yeah, I've got elongated. I've got elongated canines, so I never used to show my teeth because I learned just before high school how to do this. I basically just wouldn't. When I talked, I would not show my teeth. When I smiled, I would not show my teeth, or basically all of the things. I just wouldn't show my teeth because kids made fun of me. Basically they kept calling me Wolfman because I also was quite hairy still, even then, because of random hormone imbalance and bullshit. So they used to call me like Wolf Boy and Wolfman and stuff like that, and it just was so annoying. But yeah, even teachers. I fucking had the worst teachers ever. I'm not kidding. I had like two awesome teachers ever, through primary and high school. What is primary school in the States? Is that just grade school? I can't remember. Basically, the Harry Potter series takes place from years one to what is it? 1 to year 11 or something, or 12. I can't remember, but I remember being in year 12. That was the last year I was in, because they don't have grades. They say years, and it's basically how many years you've been in education. Um, in actual education, because anything before year 1 is called reception, and reception is basically it's kindergarten. I think that's kindergarten in the States. I don't know. Um, so yeah, Amarillo, whatever. He says, "Oh, love your belly, your big belly boy." Who are you calling boy? Who are you calling boy? Anyway, they seem to be the only one in the chat at the moment, which is it's fine. Like, hello, just show a little bit more respect. Anyway, yeah, I can't remember what it's like I can't remember what the school system is called in the States, because it's radically different compared to in the UK, and also driving is completely different in the UK as well. So it's like it's one of the things that you learn if you've been through the education system here in the UK. You basically don't know how to drive, and that's how you know that you're in college slash sixth form, because basically our high schools they can go into like a little bit of like college years. You basically get a little bit of extra. You can opt in to have 2 more years of extra education, and that's called sixth form. I don't know why it's called sixth form, but basically there are high schools in the UK that are called like it's a high, instead of being called high school or secondary school or academy, they basically are called sixth form college, and essentially that means that they are extra. They basically have they are a high school, but they also have a mini like a kind of a mini college on them, where you can do 2 or 3 more years of high school in basically on top of whatever high school you already had. So yeah. So yeah, it's a bit different from the States, from what I understand, because like I said, I have no idea. I did hear about it, but I have no idea. Yeah, I went to a high school, but before high school, I'm just Jeffrey. By the way, I just hi. I just want to finish this whole story that I started before anybody was here, and then I will read the chat, I promise. But yeah, I was just telling the story of like why I don't actually show my teeth, especially when I'm smiling or anything like that. It's also one of the reasons. Yeah. Basically, it's because I have elongated canines, and I know you probably know this already, Jeffrey, because I'm pretty sure I've explained about the elongated canines thing. But before high school, whatever you call that in the States, we call it primary school. It's years 1 to 6. It's year 1 to 6, and then you go to high school, and that's years 7 to 12, I think. I know in the States it's like grade 1, grade 2, grade 3, 5th grade, and all that stuff. But like I said, it's the instead of grades we have years, and they're not. I don't think they match, but I'm not entirely sure. Yeah, so just before high school, I basically had mastered the ability to hide my teeth while I'm talking. So yes, that was awesome, because like I said, I've got elongated canines, and I used to be called names by all the other kids because of my hair, and also because I had werewolf teeth. So yeah, like really strong werewolf teeth. That was unexpected. So yeah, that's the whole reason why I don't actually show my teeth. But the one time that you did actually see my teeth is whenever I yawned, because it was an uncontrollable thing. so from that point on, I learned how to suppress my yawning. You know, by when it starts, I basically bite down on my finger. I don't know, you guys have seen that, so yeah. But yeah, Jeffrey, I had a yawning fit basically before I came on the stream, and I'm talking about it again, which means that I'm gonna. This has stopped working. This whole biting thing, it stopped working. Anyway, yeah. So there's that. Amarillo still here. He says my WhatsApp is, and then a number. I don't have WhatsApp. I'm not going to get it for somebody that basically I don't know. So yeah. Jeffrey says, "Wow, that's pretty cool, Tubbs. I love your NASA shirt. It's got NASA on the back too, but I might show you later. But unless you want me to stand up and move the camera and all of that stuff. But yeah." Jeffrey says elementary school 1 through 5, middle school 6 through 8, and then high school 9 through 12. Oh, so yeah. See, we don't have elementary. We have primary school, and that covers elementary to middle, I think. Because like Jeffrey, like I said, if anybody's a fan of Harry Potter, sometimes what they will do, instead of actually saying, you can get a box set that says, years 7 to 12 or something like that, and that's all of the Harry Potter movies, because that is high school. Because that is high school. That is high school. Yeah. But yeah, like 7 to 11, I think it is actually on the Harry Potter thing, because his 12th year was like missing or something. I don't know exactly what the story is. I don't know. I stopped reading Harry Potter after the second to last book, I think, only because it was ridiculously huge, and I found the premise to be, but it got tired. It became a chore to read. Basically what you get is you get reception, which is a building that usually reception and play school, they're kind of like their own thing. You can have them separately, but mostly they're kindergarten. They're kind of they're usually in one big building that is connected, usually to a primary school. And I don't know why it's connected to a primary school, but that's basically 3-4 years of when you're a kid. When you're basically from the age of 5, you basically go to reception. Anything before that, you go to play school. But play school can kind of like I said, sometimes one building that's called reception, which is just really a kiddie school, will have a play school and a and reception kind of rolled into one. And yeah. I remember basically when I moved to London with my family, I didn't go to the play school because I'd already gone to the reception, because I'd already gone to the reception from a different place. We lived in Lowestoft when I was of the play school reception age, but when I did, I basically when we moved, I went to primary school, which I think, like I said, is elementary school, mixed in with middle school. It's kind of like their one thing in the UK. They're just called primary school. Primary school. And what happened is I basically joined primary school when I moved here to moved to London. So the building that I moved into, though, the primary school that I went to had a reception and play school attached to it. So it was kind of like one very large building, one kind of like large complex. So yeah. And it was actually kind of creepy because one side of the building was super pristine and lovely and shiny and new, and that's because it was burnt down like sometime in the 70s or something, 70s or 80s. So it looked brand new and shiny. And the other half of the building was very like 40s architecture, kind of like 40s and 50s, kind of like modular, kind of concrete architecture. It was so weird. It was so weird. And I mean, it was cool because it was like it's an old building, but it's like it's just weird because I just remember it being very kind of complexly. It was like parts of it were warehouse architecture almost, but it's been done up because it's a school. So it's weird. It's very hard to explain. But yeah, you had all of the old gym equipment and everything. So that was kind of crazy, to be honest. But yeah, my high school was mental because it had been added to all the time, and in fact, the science building was like a super, like it was just the science building wasn't really a science building. It was the top floor of a pre-existing building that it looked like they just built another building on top of the English and literature kind of building, because it was just so weird. Just my high school was just made up of different things. But I remember the science building was the latest addition, and if like a chemical spill happened or anything like an experiment went wrong, or basically there was too much gas in the room, then the roof would retract automatically. It just like it was kind of like it was like an A-frame roof, but in the middle there was like a partition, so there was two classes, and it had these windows that basically just opened up, just like slid open, so that all of the gas could like exit either up or through the sides after the air came in or whatever. It happened twice. It happened twice by accident. We never had any kind of like chemical spill. There was no experiments that went wrong. There was one time when there was way too much gas in the room, but the teacher hit the button to basically open this thing up. It was crazy. Because we were watching a video or something like the first time this happened, and we didn't know what was going on. But because all of the science classes were interconnected, like if something happened in one of the rooms, then all of them would open up. Like the roof was basically connected to all of the classes, of course. So basically, this system happened, and apparently one time the sprinklers went off, but I wasn't there for that. But it was like, holy shit. But yeah. Elementary. Oh, we read that. Only when you come on stream, Tubbs. Well, yeah, with the yawning. But I think it's neat schooling in the UK, Tubbs. It's okay. I mean, I had some really bad teachers. Like really bad teachers. like I said, there was like two good teachers like really that I really liked in my entire educational system, and like I would say about four teachers that basically they weren't bad teachers, but they like I understood why they weren't the bestest teacher or my favorite teacher, because yeah. So, um, but yeah, it helps that basically the two teachers that were my favorite teachers were total bears. Like they would fit very well in the bear community. So yeah, yeah, it sounds like too much to read terms. I agree. What I miss? um, too much to read. Oh, the book, Harry Potter book, right? Yeah. Um, yeah. It's not that. It's that, like I said, it became a chore to read because the thing with Harry Potter is that I don't mind Harry Potter um, until book four. After book four, it became stupid because if you hadn't built up this magical world that basically is like full of whimsy and you're still exploring it after four books, you're still exploring this magical world. You don't know how everything works yet. It's all kind of like there's just like real like charm to it, you know. But then you're going to introduce like deaths and real stakes and um you're going to get serious, and it's like you can't be serious yet. You haven't earned it. You've had four books and we're still learning stuff about interesting things, and you haven't earned it. You just haven't earned being this serious and being this doomy and gloomy, you know. If it was like a Tim Burton kind of book, then like I know it's like a movie, then it would be kind of like dark and serious, slightly sinister from the beginning, but it isn't. It's always like built up as being, you know, kind of like magical and you know, it's not going to take itself too seriously because there are screaming plants. You know, there are letters that yell at you, and there are screaming plants, and there are um, it's just too much silliness. It's like I basically read in the book, something akin to this, uh, like um, like Harry was like so amazed at the fact that this tree was like the magical purple like pooping tree was just was so like beautiful and huge that he failed to notice that like there was like a huge massive battle going on behind him, and like there were centaurs fighting giant spiders and things like this, and I'm just reading it. I'm just like, well, this is just silly. I'm just like, oh, I'm done. you know after that point it became just like I said, it was a chore to read. And when I saw the second from last book, I was like, when I just saw it, it's very thick. It's like this thick. I was like, no. Then the movies came out, and everybody loved Harry Potter, and I was just like, well, I can't like Harry Potter because I know what happens, and it's kind of bullshit, you know. So yeah. The play school sounds so cute, Tubbs. I like that. It's called play school. It's just like it's just a thing, keep your kids entertained kind of thing. When you're really little. It's not really a school, you know. You don't learn much. You basically you learn to it's really annoying actually, because when you're a tiny little kid, you don't know better, then you think that this is all school is, and it's always going to be this way. And like I said, all that you do in play school is play. You play. You play with other kids. You play outside. You play with paint. You can practically pick whatever you do. You know, it's all so great. You get to play with arts and crafts if you want to. You get to just draw on the wall. You get to like play with blocks, and you play. You just play. And you get to granted, they do ease you in slightly. You get to what they call reception, which is, like I said, elementary school, and you learn about numbers, and you learn what colors are, and you know what shapes are, and you do very basic arithmetic, and incredibly basic spelling, and you know, you sometimes learn how to read. It's like, yeah, I get it, but there's still kind of this play school vibe about it. Like, I figured out very early on that if I walked out of the class when we were given our assignments, if I just walked out of the class, I could walk around the entire building. You know, I could leave and nobody cared. So yeah. But then you get to primary school, and then everything's bad, and you have to do stuff, and it's just that play school. Why do they do that? Why don't they from the get go at least give you something? You know, if I just went to reception and I skipped play school, then I'd be fine with that. You know, but it's just that I remember the disappointment of going from reception to elementary to primary school and being like, ugh, why weren't we told about this? We understood that it was going to get harder, but it's such a giant shift, you know. Anyway, I'm gonna shut up. I'm sorry, I meant the roof. The roof was mental. That's great. I wish I had teachers that were bears. Well, like I said, there were two teachers. One of them was a gigantic Canadian man. No facial hair or anything. He had a very strange voice. And he was very round, very flabby round, but still very round. And he looked like he always wore stuff that was way too small on him. But I just remember that because only because he wore like a belt on his belly that dug in a lot, and he basically wore shirts that looked like they were too small on his chest, which was very hairy, and it was like, yeah. But he was always a super nice teacher. He was so polite and lovely, and he was a Canadian stereotype. Just figured it out. The other teacher was definitely a bear. You know, he was very thickly built. He was from New Zealand, which was interesting. He was a biker, and he had a beard, and he was my graphics design teacher. That's one of the reasons why I liked him a lot. It wasn't because he was a bear, but because I didn't know any better at the time. But mainly because like he seemed to have the same interests that I had. He drove motorcycles. I drove motorcycles. You know, he was really into drawing. He basically like I didn't know that this would be a thing, but he had a motorbike crash which basically fucked up his wrists. So his wrists looked very much like mine did after my accident, but that would happen after high school. But yeah, it was very, very nice. However, he told my parents that basically I couldn't stop drawing him. I drew him once. Because we were asked to draw our favorite teacher. I drew him once in art class, and like the art teacher showed him my drawing. But yeah, basically he told my parents that I was obsessed with drawing him. Like I said, one time. I drew him in a tutu, by the way. It was a silly thing that we would do. I don't even remember the circumstances. I just remember that basically I made a you know, a foldable out of paper tutu, and I stuck it on the picture because no reasons. But yeah, he had like a big curly beard and wore glasses and stuff like that. Oh, I do remember the reason why he thinks that I drew him multiple times is because I also drew a picture of my uncle, and you know, he basically was a larger version of him. So yeah, it doesn't matter. But yeah, I had one teacher that basically very, very, you know, he understood me, but he was a science teacher. And like he got me, but he didn't really, you know, he didn't give me special treatment or anything, because basically he understood that I would hate that. Yeah. But I've had, like I said, I've had a few okay teachers. My math teacher was very much like that. He basically said that I was really good at maths. He didn't treat me any special or anything, but when parent teacher day happened, it was like, you know, it was kind of a like you know, he may not show it all the time, but he basically is very, very gifted with maths. And I was like, this is the first time he's ever said anything nice about me, and my parents are here. But you know, this is nice. Yeah. I then realized that I realized later that basically he treated me that way because he was challenging me to unlock my potential and stuff. So yeah, I've had some really awful teachers, and mostly in primary school. I'm going to name names because I don't give a shit. You know, they're probably not even teachers anymore. They're probably moved on to whatever professions. I can only remember one, to be honest. I think the other one was called Miss Parker, but Miss Snedden. I had Miss Harold, who was probably transgender now that I think about it, but we didn't care, who was quite nice. But Miss Snedden was a bitch, because she would pretend to be very nice to me, and then when parent teacher day came, She was a bitch because she said to my mother that I should probably like be taken to a psychiatrist or something because there was something wrong with me. I should give some background here. She also told me off for leaving the class several times when she would indirectly tell me to leave the class. And when sports day, whenever sports, phys ed happened, she would always tell me to like not participate because I'd just cause trouble. I don't know why. I do not know why. I basically remember a couple of times being kind of an asshole. You know, we were learning how to play rugby, and we were told to pass the ball behind us and kind of like run, and then we would kind of like run down the hall, passing the ball between each other, like practicing this thing. So what I did was I passed the ball and I ran and got to the other side. She basically just went, pointed, basically. I don't know if you can see my arm. So I left and basically sat out the class because I'd been naughty somehow. So it's like, well, that's what you told me to do. It's just one of those things. But yeah, almost every single phys ed class, that was the case. So it's crazy. So yeah. There, she told me to sit at my desk and not do any playtime one time because like I I was talking during science class or something, but I was talking to the girl next to me because she wanted to know about something sciencey, and I knew lots of science. So yeah, I've always been a nerd. So I was, whispering quietly like information to her because she had lots of questions. Um, that girl, by the way, the like kind of was my girlfriend in high school later, but didn't know it then. Doesn't matter. Um, but yeah, I was told to like miss. I would skip playtime, but basically I got detention, and you just have to sit at your desk quietly during detention. Um, so what I did was I cheated slightly because we didn't have lockers. I basically just pulled out my. You basically had a drawer under your desk, and that was your stuff. That was your locker. You put your lunchbox in it and all that stuff. But what happened is that basically I was sitting at my desk and I very, very sneakily kind of like pulled out my desk drawer and was reading. I was just reading, and she couldn't tell what I was doing. But I wanted to kind of like show her that I had been participating in playtime, kind of. But I hadn't really participated in the, but I hadn't got detention because I was doing something I enjoyed anyway. So when the time came up that basically playtime was over and we were going to get back to studying, everybody came in, and she basically said, "You've now finished. You've been. Your punishment is over. Okay, so." Just like get on with the class. So I was like, fine. And I slammed the drawer quite loudly and closed the book so that she could see. And she basically did the whole thing where she told me to get out of the class again. So yeah. Miss Parker was a bitch because basically she was just a bitch. She was straight up a bitch. Oh my god. I basically couldn't read out loud. I could read, Like I could read something because of my dyslexia that nobody cared about. And I'm not moaning that nobody cared about it, because I didn't know what dyslexia was until college happened. Also, I'm going to read the chat. Play school sounds like preschool, like it's like before kindergarten. It's probably that. That's probably what preschool. It's probably preschool, but we call it play school. So yeah. In elementary school, my second grade teacher was a drunk. She used to drink in between classes. Her name was Mrs. Barlow. Oh dear. Happens, you know, what are you gonna do? Yeah. I don't know what else to say. I don't know what to say about that, Jeff. But yeah, I get it. So yeah, Miss Parker, the bitch. She, yeah, I basically could read, but you know, basically I could read a book and then answer questions on the book, and that's usually what happened. But every now and again, you know, a student would be called up while everybody else had writing assignments, and basically they'd be doing their writing assignments, or they'd, you know, practicing their lettering, or like studying for a spelling test or something. And you would be called up to the front of the class, and they would ask you to read. um, just, it seemed at random, but obviously everybody had to do this. They would ask you to read to the teacher at her desk while she graded papers or whatever. And I couldn't do that. Like I said, I could do the thing where I could read it and then I could, yeah. She asked me repeatedly to come up, and I'm pretty sure it's because I was doing bad now. But she kept asking me. I seemed to feel really picked on. I do remember feeling really picked on, that she's being a, you know, because I kept like reading it, and I kept reading it wrong, and she was like, you know, it's like, why can't you do this? You know, why can't you do this? What's wrong with you? She actually said that a couple of times. But yeah, so that was messed up. I think school holidays are also different in the UK compared to America. For example, I seem to have read this thing where we got 6 weeks off on school holiday. We basically get a month and a bit off for school holiday. Which I, like I said, I read a chart. I looked at a graph that basically showed all of the time off that students get for summer. And this is consistent throughout all of the school periods, by the way, like all of them, secondary school / high school and primary school, and all of them. So you always get 6 weeks off, no matter where you are. It's the shortest amount of time that kids get off compared to almost every single, yeah. So basically every summer, like yeah, that would happen, and you're expected to basically go on, you know, you parents take their kids on holiday during this time, and it's a thing. So that's what's supposed to happen. And it's crazy because my parents never liked to do that because it would be too hot in the summer. So they would, and also it's really expensive to go, you know, on vacation during that time because it's peak season. So we would go off season, usually during school time, and that would be fine. But for a kid, for a kid in primary school to go on vacation, basically it meant that it was kind of an unwritten rule that any homework or any work that you missed during that time off, um, you got out of it. You basically got out of doing it because kids, you basically don't. Yeah, yeah. Miss Parker, I went on holiday. I basically came back, and I was back for a week, and one of the other kids had also gone on holiday, vacation. Sorry, American. Yeah. And apparently she was told that she had to fill her assignments, do all of the assignments that she did as homework. I wasn't told this, so basically it was like, okay, so you come up here and show us your work, show me your work. So I was like, I brought up my book, but I was like, oh, and I was about to say to her, I'm sorry, but I wasn't aware that I had to do my assignments and stuff like that. And all that came out of me was, sorry, didn't know, assignments. And she said, well, of course you had to fill your assignments out. I swear she nearly swore at a child. She was yelling at me. She was full on yelling at me in front of the class, and she basically opened the book and she says, look, what do you see there? And I was like, nothing. And she's like, exactly, a big fat nothing. And she was looking right at me like she was basically saying that to me. And I wasn't like, I was the thickest child. I wasn't fat. I wasn't chubby. I was just thick. I was naturally big built, and I was actually usually the tallest kid in my class at the time, because I was usually the oldest, because my birthday is kind of like on the edge of being in the next year kind of thing. So I was usually the eldest in the class, but yeah. So yeah, I could tell that she was, later on, now that I'm an adult, I could tell that she was trying to basically pick on me. She was trying to get to me. But at the time, I didn't care about my weight or anything. I wasn't self-conscious about anything like that. But it was like, what insecurities could he have? And it was like, oh, he's slightly bigger boned than most of the other kids. And by the way, I mean literally bigger boned, because I was the eldest. Yeah, I swear to God, she could, if she wanted to, she would have beaten me. If she had the ability to, if beating was still allowed in schools, caning and all that stuff, when I was a kid, then basically she would have totally like kicked my ass. But yeah, there was like there was other things. There was just so many other things. And then I knew my brother would basically get her the next year. Basically, because he he came into the same school that I did. And so when I left her, the next year when I left her class, basically we had my brother had her as a teacher, and apparently she was a bitch to him too. And I didn't know that she was being bitchy at the time. I was just me as a kid, so I didn't get it. But yeah, basically I had some time. It was like sports day or something, and she was like setting out something on a table for sports day, and essentially essentially, I said, so it's like, you know, hi, Miss Parker. You know, how like like how's it going, kind of thing. And she's like, she just was like, fine. I was like, okay. Like she wasn't doing anything. She wasn't doing anything. So I was like, like I saw that, you know, I know you're teaching my little brother. You know, it's like, had to, like, how's he getting on? It's something that my mum asked me to ask her at one stage. So I just thought I'd just drop it as conversation because we were both kind of like in the same room, not really doing anything. And she was like, "Do you honestly think that this is the time to ask me about this?" And then she just fucked off. It's like, sorry. Jesus. I don't understand. I don't get it. Crazy bitch. But there were, like I said, there were lots of little things. Oh, by the way, I was a little bit. I forgot to mention this story about Miss Snedden. I just. I know this is basically spoiler story time. By the way, hi Preston. He said. He says I just saw Spider-Man and Away from Home. Far from Home. It's just Far from Home. Absolutely loved it. It was pretty good. I liked it too. No spoilers though because people haven't seen it yet. So yeah. Yeah, exactly. She was a bitch, Jeff. She was just, yeah. Panafox is here. Hey, dude. He says maybe she needed some dick. I probably. I don't know. I don't want to speculate. I prefer not to think of her as an actual person. You know, she was just some bitch lady. So yeah. But yeah, I can't remember any positives coming from her. You know, the year that I was in her class, I do not remember any positives at all. She was just shit the entire time. So yeah, fun. Yeah, I just want to point out that there's some context with the Miss Snedden thing. Although she was a bitch and crazy, but she was basically at least nice to me sometimes. She gave me credit for some of the stuff that I was good at. So I can't really say that much bad about her, you know. But I can say some stuff. But yeah, so for context, during the stage of my life when I was with Miss Snedden, I did not know how old I was. I stole stuff. You know, I was a little bit of I was a tiny bit of a thief, but just a little bit, not hugely. You know, I stole stuff. I learned very early on that we always used to play marbles. Um, you know, we used to play with marbles when we were kids, and including like getting really big marbles and all this stuff, and the supers and all that stuff. And like I mentioned before, everybody's desk was like their it was like their locker. They basically had trays underneath the desk. I think I've mentioned this in a stream before. Yeah, they had trays underneath a desk that were held into place onto the underside of the desk so that kids can put their stuff in it, like lockers. And, you know, it was a thing. You moved around in the class and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, you went to your desk and you got your stuff out of your desk, like books and lunches and stuff like that. But kids would put their marbles in their desk. They would just put their marbles in their desk because they couldn't keep them in their pockets and stuff, I guess. And I learned very early on. And again, I was a kid. I didn't really know better, you know. I basically would put my hand underneath the desk and basically rummage through people's shit. And it was like, I'd mainly take marbles and stuff. I'm not proud of it. I'm just kind of like, I was really cool about it. I wouldn't take all of the marbles. I just take like one that I wanted or two that I wanted, and then just claim that I found a good marble shop, So nobody really figured out that I was basically stealing stuff. But I slipped up. I slipped up once. One time, by the way, I slipped up one time. Basically, I'd snuck back into the class, and I took I was going to give it to a friend. I took a little figurine off of a model in the class, and I didn't know it at the time, but outside of the class, outside of the window of the class, because the door opened out to the outside of the sports field, and basically, that's where some of the teachers basically just would go to, like, get some air, or basically just like chill, because I'm guessing it was summer or something. I can't remember exactly, but essentially, what I didn't know is that when I snuck back into class while everybody was playing outside, I basically was seen by Miss Snedden taking this little figurine off of this little model. Didn't belong to anybody, belonged to the class, wasn't really anybody's property. And I was seen. I wasn't immediately caught. I basically thought I got away with it. I then went outside and went to the playground and basically gave my friend the figure that he wanted. It was a little doggy figure or something, looked just like his dog, and basically, yeah. When we came back in from playtime, essentially, we were all told to be quiet, and immediately, like, Miss Sinner was like, somebody has been a thief, and I'm going to give them the chance to basically come up to the front of the class and put whatever they took onto my desk. And then we will not talk about this before. There will be no repercussions. So I was basically like, shit. But, I thought I got away with it. So I was like, sat at my desk, just kind of like, I don't really have the figure, so I can't own up to it, because I'm pretty sure nobody saw me as well, so I'm fine. I'm totally innocent here. If anything, my friend will have to come up and he'll get the blame. At the time, I was again, I didn't know any better. I was a kid. I just kind of was like he'll get the punishment. That that's fine. It's probably not going to be that severe anyway. She was looking at me. I didn't really know much that she was looking at me at the time, but looking back on it, it's like she was like pretty much staring at me. But I was looking around, acting super cool and not nonchalant at all. I was just kind of like, yeah. And then basically, after a couple of minutes, like after of nobody walking up, because like nobody figuring out exactly what she was talking about, probably, I'm pretty sure even my friend at the time didn't know that I had taken the figure without asking for it or anything. I'm pretty sure I just given it to him, so he didn't know that it was stolen. But yeah, she basically walks up to my desk. And the desks were arranged in like groups of 6, like in the room. They weren't just, primary school in the UK is different from, elementary school in the US. We basically didn't have individual desks lined up like you see in like TV shows and stuff. So yeah. By the way, that's true for all schools, like secondary school / high school as well. Yeah, desks are very rarely lined up in the configuration that you see in American desks are lined up. They're usually lined up around the wall, and it's kind of like college lecture hall style in high school. It doesn't matter. They're usually either grouped together or they're basically lined up so that everybody can hear the teacher. So yeah, she basically walked over to our group of desks, and basically I was still kind of like playing it cool. I didn't know. And then it was like she was like, Sean, why didn't you come up? Why didn't you step forward? And I didn't say anything still. I was like, what? It was like you took something that didn't belong to you. Do you know that makes you? That makes you a thief. Like, and now everybody knows it. It was like, I don't have anything. I was trying to be very cool still. She was like, fine, just see me after class, kind of thing, and we'll have to call your parents. So she called my parents and all that stuff, and I basically explained that I didn't, that I tried to say that I didn't take anything, and all this stuff, and I didn't know that this thing was like, yeah. And then she basically she outed herself and said that she was standing outside and she saw me go into the class and take the figurine, and basically, yeah. So that's all cool. I get why she did that. It was kind of a bit of a dick move to basically do it in the middle of class, like tell everybody that I'm a thief, but whatever. I kind of can't blame her. I see what the whole point was. It was a thing. She wanted to humiliate me. I get it. But about a week later, mechanical pencils were a thing. And basically, I really wanted a mechanical pencil. I wasn't old enough to go get a mechanical pencil for myself. My mum wouldn't take me to the stationery store to basically get a mechanical pencil. It was this whole big thing. I really wanted a mechanical pencil. There was one girl in my class that basically had a mechanical pencil. She lost her mechanical pencil. I had gotten a mechanical pencil. I got one from the school store. I got one from the store at school. It was a thing that was in the library of our school. Basically, I managed to get a £1 coin. I didn't steal it. I managed to get a £1 coin for being nice to some old lady. Can't remember the exact story to go with that, but I basically I bought a mechanical pencil with lead and everything, and it was great. It was identical to this girl's pencil. She lost her pencil. She told Miss Snedden, somebody's stolen my pencil, because I can't find it anywhere. I don't know where it is. It's kind of a thing. Instead of just assuming that basically I was telling the truth, though, what she did was basically she basically like in the middle of just before we went home, basically she like told everybody, you know, that she'd do a little announcement every day to basically just say we did all great today, and remember to do this when you go home, you know, for homework and stuff. She basically like said, well, it seems that our thief has struck again. It was like, what did I do? What? Like, in reality, I was thinking, oh shit, basically somebody's been, you know, somebody's found out that I've been taking marbles and stuff. So, you know, technically it's true, I was a bit of a thief, but I wasn't guilty in this particular instance, and nobody knew about the marbles still at that point. Nobody found out about the marbles, by the way, until the last year of primary school. When I got a bit too ambitious and basically tried to take somebody's marbles from in front of them because I didn't know that they could see me. So yeah, she stands in front of the class and basically just says that. She just says that seems our thief has struck again. You know, it's like Laura here has lost her pen, you know, her mechanical pencil, and you know, it's like, and no, she said Laura here has had her mechanical pencil stolen. So if anybody basically wants to own up to this after class, then, you know, no repercussions will be felt. You know, it was kind of a thing. Every child, you know, all of the students in that class, including Laura, in fact, especially Laura and Miss Snedden, all of them looked at me. I thought that I could poop myself at that moment. I was really, really kind of like confused, but more kind of like I was mortified, and I didn't understand why. You know, because it was like I knew that I didn't take a fucking pencil. I didn't take a mechanical pencil or anything like that. I didn't do anything. So yeah, everybody kind of left and gave me the stink eye, and then and Laura comes up to me and she says, I think it's very wrong what you did, because, you know, kids, they don't have the best vocabulary, but basically she called me a name and then she left. It was like, but yeah, I didn't leave. I was the last person to leave, because I was still, like I said, kind of confused by what was happening. So, and this is my fault. I was an idiot. I was a moron. I don't know why I did this, but before I left, the teacher, yeah, I was going towards the door, and Miss Snedden was like looking right at me. I went up to her desk. I got out my mechanical pencil. I put it on her desk, and I said I was sorry. And the teacher was, Miss Snedden was like, that's very big of you now, but this all could have been sorted out if you basically just given me the pencil to begin with, and you never took it at all. If this happens again, I'm going to have to call the police, and I will be telling your parents about this. And I went home feeling like shit. And I don't know why. So essentially, I think my original brain process was like, you know, because I've had lots of time to think back on this. This happened 20 something years ago now. I basically, at the time, I know exactly what I was doing. I was basically, I felt pretty bad. I didn't know why I felt pretty bad, but I thought that it was, I feel bad for Laura. She's lost her pencil. She's taken it out on me. It'll make her happier if I basically gave her my mechanical pencil, but she's basically gone now. So You know, I'm going to give it to teacher, and basically teacher will basically give her the pencil, and she'll feel better. But instead, I just felt crappy, like for the rest of the time. I never understood. I never found out what happened to a mechanical pencil. By the way, if somebody did actually steal it, I'm actually assuming that nobody stole it. She just lost it or broke it or whatever, and basically didn't want to tell her parents or teacher that she broke it or whatever. But I felt really bad because I'd been blamed for something that I didn't do, and I tried to make it better anyway, and it ended up making things worse. So yeah, everyone just assumed that I was the thief, and that was the thing. So yeah. By the way, I have stolen things, but never from people that I've never stolen anything from friends. And oh my god, I'm an annoyingly honest person that, in fact, I would tell my friends if I ever took something of theirs. So, yeah, I wouldn't be able to not tell them. Like, oh yeah, well I took that. I can't remember which one of my friends it was, but essentially I took their oh my god, I took one of their Pokemon cards, but it was kind of a gag. We kind of would just steal each other's Pokemon cards. I know it sounds terrible, but it wasn't. Like there was a group of us in high school, and we basically would kind of trade Pokemon cards by taking them out of each other's pockets, like just see if we could pickpocket each other's Pokemon cards. Stupid, I know, but we managed to successfully trade Pokemon cards with each other, and anything super valuable was always kind of like hidden, you know, like in their bag or something stupid. So yeah. But yeah, and hell, just a couple weeks ago, I basically stole. Well, no, whenever my parents were here, when I think was that like 2 or 3 weeks ago. I think it was 3 weeks ago now, to be honest. Anyway, I took a keychain from the. You know, I stole a keychain from a garden center because it was £5 for a tiny keychain like this big. £5. It's like, no, it's not worth. No, no. I don't care. You know, keychains are worth £1. You know, that's how much it takes to produce these keychains. It's, you know, that at the most. You know, keychains could be as little as 10p to make, 10 pence to make. So to sell it for like £5, it's just crazy. So I lifted a keychain because it was just yeah. Sorry about this, guys. I know I've been ignoring the chat. I haven't been ignoring the chat. I've been reading it, but I've basically yeah. The notification showed up an hour late, so yeah, something is up with notifications. Says FMF. Hey, Famous Fox. Howdy, dude. Yeah. Basically, all I can suggest is that you like try to subscribe to me again. Well, push the notification thing. Is that a thing still? Yeah, that is. I do not know if that will reset it. It probably won't, because even I'm getting problems with try to find the live streams. So I do apologize. I do not know why it's doing that. Zhao Nub says, why haven't you slept? It's 2:39. Jesus, really? 20 minutes ago. sorry, it's been a while since I read the things. If you're here still, dude, then basically let me know if you got the videos, because I have recorded your video today, and like I want to know like what you think of it. I do not know. I couldn't get all the sounds right. I couldn't get the lighting right because I recorded it quite late when the sun had just gone down. But I've had a weird busy day today, so yeah. Sorry. But yeah, if you basically let me know through Discord or like send me an email back or whatever, then that you've got the clips. Otherwise, I'll try to upload them again. But yeah, I will be making a video out of these, so you could just wait for the video to be uploaded. But it's up to you. Just let me know what's up. So yeah. Jeffy says, "Wow, that's so wrong of her, Tubbs, to call you out like that." I know. Like I said, this is one of the main reasons why she's like on my kind of like I hate you list. Oh, there's a dead moth. Oh no, it's not dead. I mean, it is having a seizure on my desk. I was going to feed it to the plant. Should I still feed it to the? I don't want it going in my glass. That's why I'm taking my glass away. Should I feed it to the plant? Could you not be in the corner? Because you'll be eaten by a spider. And as much as I want the spiders to have a meal, there we go. I managed to get on my finger. Maybe I shouldn't get rid of it. What do you guys think? It can't fly. Something's up with its wings. Are you okay? Do you want me to let you outside? Or are you just surviving? I'll read the rest of the chat, and if it jumps off my finger, then it can go. I don't want to kill an innocent animal. And moths are really innocent. Well, this thing's got a really big, like, front end to it. I don't know if you guys can see. Camera focus. Camera focus. Focus my finger. It's got big antenna. Focus. I don't think it's going to focus. But it's so peaceful. I mean, it's confused as hell because it's on my finger and it's moving around. But yeah, my finger's moving around, not it. But I don't know. It's kind of been like I thought. Like I said, I thought it was dead because it was just resting on my desk, just there. Put my glass back. Otherwise, I drop my glass. Anyway, oh my god, she framed you, Tubbs, and the girl lied. She had lost her pencil. It wasn't stolen. I don't know what happened to her pencil. It might have been stolen, but it wasn't by me. Because I'm me, and I know why I did. And I did not steal the pencil, but it doesn't matter. FMF says, we feel the shame people assign to us, whether we deserve it or not. Oh, it is an ingrained social instinct. One bad people abused. What? I was the kid in school that would say things were stolen when I lost them. I am glad that I was called out on it. I think it made me better as a person. I mean, I get that. Like I said, I don't blame her. I've never blamed her. It's just kind of a thing that was like, stop it. It's just kind of a thing that was like, yeah, I don't know. As a kid, I can conceive that I was capable of losing things. I know. I understand how that could feel. I would leave it outside. Yeah, I'm thinking that too, to be honest. It's not just resting on my finger. It's gripping my finger. I was about to fall off my finger. Oh. Got very pretty legs. Moths are weird. It's looking at you. The thing is, if I open my door to let it outside, then I'm going to get a bunch of bugs trying to get inside. So, okay. Don't jump off my finger and onto the floor and then I stand on you. That would be bad. Moths are weird. Well, they're not weird. Yeah. But in an okay way. I like moths better than butterflies, to be honest. I don't know why. They seem to do more. And they fold their wings up. But this thing's got like a really big, like, head, mouth thing. I don't know. I'm gonna look outside. Give me 1 sec, guys. I'm gonna say goodbye soon. Don't look at me. Okay. I don't think anything came in. Oh, how's the dead spider doing? See, I'd feed that to the plant, but it's got a bunch of bug spray on it, so I don't want my plant to die. I don't know if that would be that's possible, but you know. Sorry, plant. There was a fly that was. Oh no, the fly's back. There's a fly that's like very close to the plant. However, it's not on the plant. It's just there. I think it might actually be an older fly because it basically is very slow. I could kill it very easily if I wanted to. Anyway, if I'll be thanking you for setting him free, Tubbs. Well, I don't want to like if it was like properly disabled, then I would probably have fed it to the plant, but it's not. You know. It basically could crawl around on my finger. If it could crawl, then it's potentially gonna repair itself, maybe, and then fly away. Otherwise, it probably is just gonna get eaten by a bird tomorrow. Hopefully, he's not just sitting outside my office, like on the floor, because when I leave the office, I'm gonna stand on it. Not on purpose, but I will stand on it. Anyway. Is it me, or has the camera just like shifted its white balance a little bit, maybe? Because I'm being super whited out. Doesn't matter. Any hedgehogs? No, still no hedgehogs. Okay. So other things I wanted to tell you about, guys, today. Just a general thing that's happened today. It's been Saturday, so yeah. Went to McDonald's, went shopping, so that was fun. And then it rained, but because it was quite warm, I opened my office up while we were at McDonald's. So it was raining here while it was sunny when we were in McDonald's. And then after we came out of the supermarket, it was raining. So we rushed home, and this office has now got a bit of a water problem. Like, I have no idea why, but the floor is wooden. It's chipboard, which is basically like it soaks up moisture, which is super great for floor. So I'm hoping it's going to be super sunny and hot and dry tomorrow, because yeah, basically the floor in here got soaked and the computers could have easily been destroyed because it was quite stormy. In fact, we saw a tornado. It didn't touch down, but we saw one. It was actually kind of awesome. Like Joe, I was gonna say I was gonna call him George. I was gonna call Damon George, for some reason. Excuse me. Yeah. Damon was driving, and I was in the car with him, and I was just looking at the road. I wasn't really looking at the sky. But he was like, "That cloud is shaped funny," and I was like, "Yeah, it kind of looks like it's moving like really fast." Then my eyes twigged on that it was actually rotating, like slowly around itself and getting closer to the ground. And I was like, "Oh my god, it's a tornado! This is awesome!" Because I've never seen one in person, so it was like, that's awesome. But like I said, it didn't make ground contact. From what I could tell nearby me, it was not actually making contact with the ground, but it's just like it was there. That was awesome. Anyway, floor totally soaked, so essentially that's fun. Have to deal with that. There's going to be no beer tonight because I've had a bit of a weird day. I basically had a big monster blowout at McDonald's and only been snacking for the rest of the day. So I kind of want more food in me before I have any alcohol. So no funnel tonight. Also, the funnel is here and it hasn't been cleaned out since it was used last time, except for rainwater. So, because like I said, it's just been here. So, right by the door. The door's still wet. How is the door still wet? Oh, it's probably condensation, because it is quite cold outside and warm in here. But I did get two things. I got two things in the mail today, and one of them is this. It's a very weird device. But can anyone guess what this is? Oh my god, it's actually waterproof. Well, kind of waterproof. What? No, it's not vape. I hate the smell of those things. Just me personally. I personally don't like them. Looks like a radio. No. I'll give you a hint, a very small one. You won't guess it. It's got one button. I'm not going to show you the back because the back tells you what it is. Maybe if I do this, like you can't read it. Looks like a radio. I've already read. Oh yeah, I've already read that. Sorry. Nope. I can't believe it's waterproof. To me, that's kind of weird. Oh, it's waterproof except for one, potentially two areas. That's hilarious. Oh my god, three because the bottom as well. That's stupid. Tape player? No. Is it a waterproof lockbox? Nope. Do you want me to just tell you what it is? I was having fun with the guessing game, but this might take a while. Yeah, I give you a hint. It's basically got one button. Doesn't do anything right now because, yeah, it's battery operated, and it'll make a lot of people who comment on my videos a lot very happy. FMF is right. It is some kind of pump. It's basically, yeah. It says on the back there what it is. Battery operated air pump. it's an air pump, but it's battery operated, and basically it's kind of cute. But yeah, basically on somebody's Discord, on the Blueberry Farm Discord place, they have an inflation section, and somebody like showed off that they actually had a battery operated air pump. However, they're in America and I'm in the UK. So after they sent me the link of where to get one, instead of spending $20 on one shipped from America, I basically got one that basically has the same spec as that one for $5. So this didn't really cost me anything. But yeah, comes with an air hose, very small air hose, but an air hose, and has more battery power than the American one. However, this thing, I'm not so convinced how it's going to do. But I mean, it's a lot easier to. It's going to be a lot easier to use, and I can actually use it in more locations than just some place that actually has a, is connected to a wall or a plug socket. So, like I said, this is going to make all the people that keep asking me for more installation videos very happy, because I should be able to do it better. There is one problem, and that is that I can't reach my butt with the applicator, so I need help getting the tube in, so that'll be fun. But yeah, once I actually put batteries in it, then I do plan to test it and probably make a video of it and stuff. So yeah, but no, it came a couple of days ago. Yeah. Before I test it on myself, I'm not going to test it on myself immediately right away, of course. But like I said, it's got the same. It's actually a little bit less powerful than my one from the plug on the wall kind of thing. I'm going to test it. I haven't got the batteries for it in my office right now. They are in the house. So yeah. And like I said, I need actual help to test out. So yeah. Plus there's other issues, like my bowels aren't completely empty and stuff, and oh my god, stuff. Such a thing. Oh, shut up. So yeah, I might test that out tomorrow. And of course I'll be doing the beer thing tomorrow as well. And of course it is LiveTUBBS Weekly. So also LiveTUBBS Weekly, I will be doing I might be doing editing stream as well. Although I might be doing the editing Monday. It depends exactly how tomorrow goes, because today didn't go as expected. I don't know how tomorrow's gonna go. So yeah. Anyway, guys, I've got to go pee. Hopefully not step on the moth. I will be looking out for it. So yeah. But thanks everybody for joining me. Oh shit. That was a can. Thanks everybody for joining me. Belly rubs. Stretch. Belly rubs and a belly salute. And I will see you guys tomorrow for LiveTUBBS Weekly. Oh, I've got an itch. Oh, there was one thing that was crazy that happened to my cousin, who has officially reported that he's moved in to Texas. So, and yes, he did say that it was super hot there, and that basically his new neighbor, actually she passed away because it was so hot in Texas. And yeah, like she was an old lady, and it basically is just very sad. But it was kind of like one of those things of like, wow, okay, I know it gets hot, but that's just unexpected. But yeah, he's now fully moved into Texas and stuff, and this just never came up because my cousin isn't a racist, but he is in a predominantly black neighborhood. Apparently, somebody put a note through his door telling him to move out and that they don't need any more crackers living in the neighborhood. What? um, I'm confused. I'm confused about the whole cracker thing in the first place. And it actually, yeah. My cousin doesn't have a racist bone in his body. He didn't even mention the fact that it's a black neighborhood and stuff like that to me, at all. It, yeah. By the way, Panda Fox, you're in Louisiana. He basically lives on the Louisiana Texan border. He's on the Texas side, but yeah. So you basically see a fatter, slightly taller version of me walking around. That's him. Oh no, he's dealing with the. Well, I can't say what I want. You can say whatever you want, honestly. I'm just kind of. It's just like wow. It. Yeah. He basically explained to me, that he hasn't asked around the neighborhood, but essentially the street that he's living on, it's quite open and empty anyway. But like they are actually throwing a block party because they do that to anybody that joins the neighborhood and stuff like that. They're actually doing that next weekend. But from the neighbors that he's talked to, apparently they know who sent it. And there's apparently a little old, like, racist black lady that lives somewhere in the neighborhood. It's like crazy. But yeah, he just yeah. I never understood the whole, like anybody calling white people crackers in the first place on account of you know where that word comes from, right? All I'm gonna say is good luck. He's he's fine. It's just kind of like it's just kind of he was more confused than anything else. But yeah, he basically educated me on where the phrase, what the word cracker means and where it comes from and stuff like that. And all he's going to say to this woman, if she basically says anything to him, is, it's like, well, I guess I know who's holding the whip. What? Oh my god. So yeah, just I wanted to say this ages ago in the stream, but I basically didn't know. I didn't remember, to be honest. But so yeah, if anybody has any advice for my cousin, please let me know. But I will pass it on to him. But it's just that. Oh my god. It's actually a bit confusing because I don't really know. I don't know why this is a thing. I just don't get why this is a thing. It's like Yeah. Well, I'm gonna go. uh, Jesus Christ, man! This has basically just been me talking about like my old school kind of like random drama, random BS. Um, and now yeah. Now it's just about some random bullshit that happened to my cousin. Dude, the only thing I can say is tell him to ignore them and live his life. Some of us can be a little historic and stupid. Yeah. Yeah. The whole thing, I didn't know how this is going to come out. I do not know how this is going to come out, but essentially it is crazy to assume that basically people are racist just because of their skin color in the first place. It is just mental in the first place. It's also crazy to assume that basically I'm trying to be super delicate about this, but all I can say is that I don't know why racism is a thing. I don't think that there is a racism thing. It's the whole, humanity first, not yeah. If you go back in history, everybody has been, yeah. I know, Panafolks. I know. I'm just saying. I don't know. I, I don't know why people are like that. You know. I feel really bad about asking Woody Bear a question when I saw him in Vegas. I didn't think about it at the time. I didn't think about it afterwards. Even it was more just like a couple of weeks ago. I was like, oh shit! I really asked Willie if he basically needed something. I remember saying to him, it's like, is this racist? Do you need sun cream? And he basically said to me, it's like, it's a little racist. And I was like, okay, just forget I said anything. Sorry. And at the time, it was like, it was cool because we're both cool. And basically, yeah, but just a couple of weeks ago, I was like, oh my God, what did I do? And I feel shit now. You know, FMF, I know. I know. I was on vacation and I just didn't think. And I continued to not think during my vacation. But like I said, like a couple of weeks ago, the memory popped up in my brain, and I was like, "Holy fuck! What was I thinking? Was I drinking anything that morning?" I mean, Panafox don't. It doesn't help. I still feel crappy about it. But like I said, we were both cool. So yeah, yeah. But I mean, like, people make assumptions about me all the time, and I'm because I'm Irish and everything. But you know, I do like to. I like alcohol. What's the big deal? um. Should I just go? Are we cool, guys? Are we cool? You know, I would hate. I feel bad. Yeah, we cool. Thanks, FMF. Oh dear. See, Panafox. Again, when you said it like that, it was kind of like, you know, it's just like there's a slight ominous nature to it for some reason. You know, it's like, yeah, we are cool. It's like you're stroking a cat, right? Yes, we are cool. Like, oh god, yeah. That's what I mean, though, Panafox. Gonna take more than that to get rid of me. What did I do? I was ignorant for like half a second. 2 months ago. Oh Jesus. And yet I feel like shit. I don't understand. You know, I don't understand. In my defense, no. In my defense, I did ask beforehand. You know, is this racist? Do you need sun cream? You know, it was kind of a. I mean, I was offering him sun cream, so it's not. I'm gonna shut up now. Oh my god. But yeah, that's just it's just mental, especially since like you know. No, because that sounds like I'm defending. I don't think I am. No, I'm not. I was gonna say, like, technically my cousin is like my cousin's ancestors like had nothing to do with any kind of, yeah. Because they're my ancestors and we're Irish, so yeah. We never colonized no shit. I'm just gonna hit the buy button. Bye guys. I was kind of like stalling because I wanted Jeffrey to come back, but I think he's busy with either a phone call or he's asleep, which I can't blame him, to be honest, because I'm gonna go to sleep. Anyway, get myself a drink. I'm like super thirsty. Normally I have a liter of beer in me by now, but yeah. Well, there's a flying insect anyway. We could chill if you want. Not like I said, I've got to go get a drink. Well, I've got Pepsi Max here. But I was also going to go pee. Go pee, then get a drink. replace the fluids. I've got a weird thing going on with my nose right now again. Like, I don't want to get too graphic or anything, but I picked my nose earlier, and basically it just kept leaking. Not bleeding or anything, just nose moisture for no reason for a long period of time. It was so annoying. But yeah. I'll go pee. Okay, guys. Bye, Jeff. If you come back and watch the end part of the stream, but bye, Jeff. Yeah, just had some chest anxiety. Random. Anyway, doodles.